Well, everyone, welcome to episode number 2 of the day of our program here live from Google Next. Already so many great conversations we've had, some incredible announcements from the floor, but we're excited to be back with our second Cloud Talk Live. Again, welcome back. My name is Jeff DeVerter, Chief Technology Evangelist for us here at Rackspace Technology. And guys, all the rules apply. You know them. So introduce yourselves. I'd love to know not just who you are, but where you are in the world. This is a global audience. It's always great to see when we get new countries or a group of folks from one place or another. So introduce yourselves. Be a part of this conversation. I'll do my best to look down at my little iPad that I have down below and see if I can see where you're coming in from, or if you have any questions for myself or the guest who I'll introduce here in just one moment. As always, if you want to get a hold of us here at the program, just send an email to solve@rackspace.com. Comes to the whole production team. And maybe you've got an idea for a show. Maybe you want to give us some feedback. That's the place to do it. So reach out to us there. All right. Well, in the meantime, then, it's time to introduce my guest today, Clive D'Souza. Clive, welcome to the program. I'm going to shake your hand, lean in and shake.
Well, thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you're here. So Google Next, it's all kinds of announcements that are here, but you lead partner engineering.
That's right.
For Google.
I lead the partner engineering for Google for North Americas, and it's a super exciting role. This is one of the, I guess, the pivotal moments within the cloud and scaling through the partners such as yourself. So super exciting. Lots happening.
Well, we love the partnership. We love helping to get your amazing technology out there. Speaking of technology, there have been a few announcements this week.
There have been.
What's caught your attention?
Well, the biggest thing, obviously, there's a lot of announcements happening on generative AI.
Yeah, just a little.
Just a little bit. But in terms of when you look at what we announced, and Jeff, if you look at the widest spectrum where we are bringing in and tying it deeper and deeper into the stack, as an example, when I look at the Vertex AI extensions, the Vertex Duet, as a developer today, it's always been, if I have to go and deploy a specific stack in my entire application portfolio, you have a lot of worry points. Am I deploying the right version of the software? Is this specific portfolio compliant, or does it have the right security embeddings in it? A lot of that is going away now. Now, with the Duet coming in, and we can talk deeper about that, this is some of the bigger challenges we are solving for the customers and the productivity of developers. Right? So all in all, we're seeing overt focus on productivity, overt focus on making the migrations easy. We announced the Alloy DB and the Alloy DB Omni, which straddles and stripes the on-prem versus the hybrid to the cloud. So we are going to meet the customers where they are.
One of the things I really appreciate about Google is the fact that there's the recognition that there's a lot of technology that exists out there, and you guys, you own some amazing tech in some spaces, but you realize it's going to exist everywhere for the foreseeable future. On-prem isn't going anywhere for.
No, it's not. And then we always tell our customers, we have said the same story. Cloud is a journey. It's not a destination. And over a period of time, your waypoints are going to change. And the value proposition and where you get the value chain, so to speak, in the technology stack will keep shifting. It's never going to be in one place. So you're right. I mean, there will always be aspects of computing which will be on-prem. We'll meet you there. And, like I said, the Alloy DB and the Alloy DB Omni is the best example of that.
It really is.
Even Anthos can go and straddle across both sides of the cloud, right? So, we're happy
you use the phrase cloud as a journey, and that was one of those things that we started to hear kind of in the late teens, where people realize, oh, it's not just the single place, it is a journey. But what I think a lot of companies are realizing now is it's not just a journey of what's happening on the tech side, but it's a journey that is enabled companies to really become more than they could have ever been before. And so it takes the focus off of, it's the journey from my infrastructure. Well, it's not the journey for your infrastructure. That goes along for the ride, but it's the journey of the business as they transform into who they can become.
It is, and you said it really well. When you look at the entire business strategy, we can talk technology all day, but technology is a tool. When you look at the business strategy, and going back to the early at the turn of the decade, when the school of thought was that you got to be all in one cloud. It breaks the model, right? But when you come down and have these conversations on what is the business value driver and how will I achieve that, at the most tactical sense, we want our customers, our business partners, to be in the business of getting the next innovative thing and the faster speed, the agility which matters.
Right.
Not in the business of figuring out how to get 100 more servers or trying to manage that data center or trying to manage that contact center for their data center, which I believe is undifferentiated heavy lifting for them, right? So when the cloud came in, it's an equal balance.
It is.
And then we saw that from a Google Cloud perspective, leaning in more towards how can we unlock the value for the customers quicker, faster with technology and have them innovate there and not be in the business of managing their so-called data centers.
You said it well. It's non-differentiating. And I was having a conversation with a racker earlier who was talking about one of his favorite salespeople that he's ever known, who works still at Google. And when somebody asks what he does, he said he doesn't say, you know, I'm a salesman, I'm a consultant, or whatever it might be. He says he sells dreams. Now, that's a very salesperson thing to say, but what it speaks to is he sells the future and the art of the possible and what can happen. Now, to go back to what you were talking about before on announcements, and this is what gets me really excited, is you guys aren't just coming out and saying, here's this new tool set, here's this new large language model, but you're baking all of that into the suite of everything, whether it's something as simple as in docs or sheets of, you know, help me with this formula or help me, give me a start on this paragraph I need to write, but even what's the right cloud solution that I need to architect, and let's deploy based on what my parameters are.
And that is true, Jeff. I mean, if you look at, you know, we go down the vector of essentially what's the time to value.
Yeah.
And in the grand scheme of things, and let's take the example where you said, you know, we have language models and we have ways to actually scour the emails. You know, Priyanka showed an example on the keynote yesterday. Whole bunch of alerts came in. And if you are a site reliability engineer, if you're managing operations, you can get down to the nuts and bolts very rapidly based on how the entire large language models and AI has scoured your ecosystem and on your infrastructure ecosystem and given you the solution. As a developer, it's extremely powerful. That's one aspect of it. But as the end user, the recipient of that service, think in terms of your SLA and SLO, right? Your service level assurances and what you are operating in under. That it's a paradigm shift. It's literally a new plane you're operating in, right? It's no longer that I have to go through the rigmaroles of having 15 SMEs on it. We're taking the productivity closer and closer down, right? So that's what's happening. But the bottom line is we are not positioning AI, and we will never, as just one little shiny sliver. It is getting embedded into the entire stack. It is ubiquitous, and it's going to stay. And we feel that when we look at the customers and the partners, and we saw what the OnStar example from General Motors did, or for that matter, Magalu in Latin America did, it is across the spectrum. The way we engage with the entire ecosystem, we engage with the stack is changing. Fundamentally, the whole delamination is happening as we speak.
Well, and I was talking to our CTO earlier, Srini Kaushik, and we were talking about, well, what happens with the job displacement in the environment. And yes, there will absolutely be some shift, but we fundamentally believe that it creates opportunity for individuals who harness and utilize the tooling.
Can I say this in a different way?
Yeah.
And I want to be honest with you. AI will not take away jobs. People with AI will do better with people without AI. It's a simple thing as that,
It's as simple as that.
So
I think
there's
those
a
are
lot
the only
of
jobs
notions going on there.
The only jobs at risk, I think, are the people who will say, I will not use it and it's only going to be me. Because AI really does become that person who sits next to me and helps me do what I do better.
Yeah, and look, some of the things we have announced and we have launched, and I've been in the technology business for 20-some years. And almost 20 years ago, we used to have the construct of a paired programming. We used to have two developers looking at the same set of screens, same code, because we used to believe that two eyes are,
you're better than one.
Exactly.
Actually, yeah.
Two sets of eyes. Now the same construct happens, but it's a virtual developer or a virtual buddy, so to speak. And now it's integrated into your IDE. We already have examples where developers have embraced AI, and they are talking about how they're getting 20, 30, 40% increase in productivity. They can literally look at the code in real time, buffer overflows, intrusion detection, or you have, memory leaks, which can be literally, remediated in real time because you are having that conversation saying, hey, I am trying to do something.
This is what I'm trying to accomplish. What's the best way?
You have that buddy in Cody, deep integrations giving you that. Think of that. Now, a developer who embraces that versus a developer doesn't, it's a choice. But you see where the industry is heading.
At some point, the company, again, we as technologists get excited to wake up in the morning and see what the new technology is, but it is an enabler.
Correct.
It's an unlocker to.
It's an extremely powerful tool.
Yeah,
You're right.
It needs to be used as such. And so again, it goes back to, for those individuals that are utilizing the new tool of AI to enable what they do to be better, faster, more efficient. I may or may not have used AI to help write our title and description for this event today. I absolutely did. It's not a secret.
Thank you.
It just I can still give all the information, but then it can put it back and output it in a way that just makes it's a lot better than I am. Let's just put it that way.
It makes you more productive.
It makes me more productive. And I always ask folks a question. I'm going to ask you this shortly, but well, I'll ask it now. How are you personally utilizing AI? Because I think we can look at the big OnStar examples, the Wendy examples, the whatever, and we have folks who will sit and they'll comment in and they'll go, well, I'm waiting for my company to enable that for me here.
Yeah.
Full stop. There are tools you can open up Bard today and help you write your emails better.
Yeah, and I'm super fortunate. I work for Google. And we have we strongly believe, as we call it, tasting on medicine.
Yep. It's a good way to put that phrase.
We taste on medicine. And sorry. But when you look at our Gmail, that's what we use internally, or we call that the Google Workspaces. We have such deep integration, and the best example I'll give you is I get about north of 200 emails in a day.
Yeah.
And there are times I get an email with 35 long chain on the same subject.
Yeah.
And when I'm opening a response, candidly, the old way of doing is go through every single one of them and say
to get current.
Now, when I open up my email, something as simple as, here's the summary, it shows up. We had, Amar said this thing, his point of view is this, right? My team, Raja said something, his point of view is this. The team agrees, generally this is where it's headed.
Yeah. Now you can respond with your...
I can respond, and I can have a very informed, opinionated point of view.
Yeah.
Same thing when I do slides every now and then when I have to present to customers, and I get a briefing doc from my team. Mm-hmm. And when I open up a slide, they literally says, give us a prompt of where you want to start. I can literally take my briefing doc and drop it in there. Mm-hmm. And instead of having a point, what is this use case? Where am I going? We can go and generate the entire content, and it gives you a very solid framework, right? And I'll give you a personal example. And I'm a dad. I have 2 kids. And not too long ago, we had one of the greatest stars, so to speak, in my teenagers' vernacular, Taylor Swift, come to town.
Ooh, nice.
And
that was quite a tour.
It's a race to get the tickets. And as is with any dad, you try to figure it out. It's the best pricing, which is the best location in the stadium. And I said, hold on a minute, I'm doing this wrong. And I literally got online and had Bard, gave the prompt. This is the amount of money I would like to potentially spend, which I believe still is way too much I spent on it. and this is where, which is the best inside the stadium.
Where's my best experience?
Which is the best place. And boom, it gave me 3 options. And here are the timelines. You should go and try to buy a ticket from Ticketmaster.
Now
I can live with that.
That is a co-pilot that can help you get things done in a really good way.
Yeah, and kept my wife happy, because I didn't have to keep going back and forth and saying which one it is. So I think it was a great example.
That is a great example. I love that. All right, let's take a look and see what's going on here in the audience. All right, so we do have a question that I want to call out from Chloe from Rhode Island is here, and she says, could you explain more how PMs to developers benefit from AI when it comes to efficiency? So project managers working with developers. I think when we talk about managing schedules, is there a better tool than AI?
In the grand scheme of things, all of us manage schedules, right?
Right.
If you look at a PM perspective, they have a schedule, they have milestones, they have deliverables.
Right.
Now, if you take in terms of, and they have burn downs, right? Depending upon, I'm going back into our developer days and tapping into some of the space there. You have a story if you're doing agile development, and you have a certain number of points associated with that. Now, when we did development, it was always about that project centric.
Yeah.
None of us work in a silo.
Right.
These projects are interdependent. These APIs or whatever you're developing at this point in time is connected. If you take generative AI, you can now holistically look at it across the spike, right? And you can move things along the way and say, hey, this particular project based on the burn down is going to impact something which you may not have a purview on.
Yeah.
And you can connect it and stitch it. You will also have a better telemetry based on what's available in your stack, what is compliant, where the industry is heading, what are the insights the marketing team is coming.
Yeah.
Again, Gen AI is not specific to just that program or project. It is a team sport. Your program management, your product development, your engineering, your marketing, your sales, your ops, everybody has inputs in it.
Yeah.
And when you get those level of insights, and I know it's a PM specific question, but what comes out and the time to value is a lot faster than rolling a project out and getting inputs from all the other teams. You're getting this in real time now.
In real time. And that's whether you're talking about it from a PM and a developer standpoint, whether you're talking about it, some of my favorite enterprise use cases is when we're using it to combat cybersecurity. Because you talk about something that's coming at you fast and furious, and to be able to triangulate that. We used to say, find the needle in the haystack. Where's the one bad actor doing the one bad thing? But now it's a needle in a needle stack. I feel like you're trying to find. And you you have to use AI in those scenarios to deal with those situations at the pace that they're coming in.
It is, and then, I'm sorry, my throat's really...
Grab your tea.
On that.
It's been a long couple of days so far.
It's totally worth it. But in the grand scheme of things, look, when you look at the Mandiant software, right? We talked about Chronosphere, and the CEO of Mandiant actually talked about it. Where we are putting in AI is not just, at the grand scheme of things, security, it is your threat exposure, your threat surface, and how you minimize it, and how rapidly you respond to it. We have embedded AI. Like I said, we are dosing on our own medicine, so to speak. We have embedded AI deep in there, where we have announced that we are doing now Chronosphere Hunt in real time. Where it actually hunts for things like, is someone maliciously trying to go and deploy something to go do Bitcoin mining? Or do you have a potential DDoS agent sitting inside your environment ahead of time? It can actually, what we call hydrate and start and activate it. Those are things we are embedding at a very, very deep and germane level, right? So security is always going to be a non-stop cat and mouse game, and we'll always be in front of it. And AI is, it's a perfect tool, right? And it's constantly learning, relearning, and it'll be updating. And it is happening in real time as we speak.
Amazing stuff. All right, so you get to, as part of the head of the partner engineering team, is to help companies overcome this inertia, that I'll call it, of, well, how do I enable AI inside of my organization? So if you were going to say, here's the top 3 things you can think of to begin this journey inside of your organization, what would that advice be?
Look, been doing this for 25 years. And I'm going to go back to the fundamentals. Understand the business strategy. What is the value you're looking to extract? Don't adopt technology for technology's sake. Right? You need to have a very clear understanding what that is. Understand your data strategy. And when I say data strategy, AI is not going to automatically fix your data. Understand what your compliance requirements are, what your governance policies are. GDPR is
Again, it's a tool.
It is a tool.
It doesn't define your business, it enables your business.
CCPA is still important, ITAR is still important, IRAP is still important. None of those are going away. Understand the construct of security. Who gets to access what, when, and where. Right? And then we always say that once you get these 2 right, you gotta have your data such a way that it's not siloed.
That's right.
Because Gen AI, the whole generative AI construct, it defeats the purpose if it cannot train on your data, which, by the way, is the biggest differentiator, right? And finally, I'll keep repeating this. Inside your organizations, have that ambassador, have that evangelist. There are various terms and nomenclature people use. People use cloud centers of excellence. They call them mavens, whatever it is.
There's got to be a champion.
This is a team sport. You cannot have generative AI working only in one part of the organization. To get the full benefit, you have to look at the entire spectrum, right? That's where you start.
That's right. And I would add one last piece to that, and that is find ways to personally be better at your job, utilizing the tools that you can find, and model that as potential for change inside of organizations.
For sure. And, use it, get comfortable with it. It's a new technology, it's a new skill. You have to, as with anything, you have a little bit of anxiety, so to speak, or the newness. But it is here. This is going to get ingrained into everything we do from a technology perspective. It's going to be ubiquitous across the world.
And you guys at Google are modeling that well, taking that tools and taking that capability and putting it into all the tools that are there. Because what we really need to do as organizations throughout the world is look for ways to be better utilizing this tool set. So I think you're modeling that extraordinarily well.
And we're working with partners such as yourself to scale. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
where I get my most passion is, and as a partner in engineering, leading it's an amazing team I have, is how do we get that ecosystem to scale out?
Yeah.
Because
you got to work with partners.
You got to work with partners.
You can only
gotta
hire
work,
so many people.
You got to work with the ISV ecosystem. In the grand scheme of things, technology is as good as it drives the value creation as well as upfield adoption. And we will never have thousands and thousands of professional services, unlike some of the other CSPs. We are a small net team. We believe in the partner ecosystem.
Yeah.
So we are going to scale through you guys, right?
So let me ask you this question. So anybody can go off and sign up, give a credit card, start a relationship on their own. Why do you recommend people work with partners?
So in the grand scheme of things, technology in and of itself, in the cloud space, is moving at an astonishing speed. Really Can somebody go and do it with a credit card? Sure. If you're a one-man shop in Joe's Auto Body, have at it. You can do that. But when you want to do massive change, especially the large enterprises, where you have a significant, I call them heritage, I don't like to use the word legacy, heritage workload, which is a data, you want somebody who's been battle tested. You want somebody who's gone through
who's been down that road before a couple hundred times.
Down the road, they've done this a few times. They have worked with the cloud service provider. They know the ins and outs. In addition to technology, they understand what the go-to-market, route-to-market motions are. They understand which are the best practices because they've seen it through. And you will, as a CIO, CTO of that organization, have a very rapid growth, so to speak, of adoption. So we always lean on that. And it's also for us, between the ecosystem, between the partners, there is a lot of knowledge sharing. If you look at how we adopt cloud, we are a big open source company, right? We believe in open source, we believe in open standards. We do not have a closed ecosystem. So as a customer, when you're making a journey to the cloud, you get the learnings, you get the benefit of the wider ecosystem, who have hardened it, and they have developed best practices with working with our teams. So that's why I would encourage you to do that.
Awesome. It's a good answer. We, of course, have strong opinions of why you should work with partners, but that's not what we're here to really pitch as much. Well, folks, if you want to learn more about what Google is up to, if you want to learn more about just some of the ways to go about this, even some of the pitfalls, you can head over to our thought leadership program over at rackspace.com/solve. That is not a sales page. You will not be greeted with a pop-up. You will not be requested to give your email. You can just get all the information you need. There's lots of great Gen AI stuff in there as well. If you want to go deeper into the Gen AI space, just head over to FAIR. That's Rackspace's program for this. Fair.rackspace.com. You can get more there. You want to learn more about Clive? He's available over on LinkedIn. There's all sorts of information. But Clive, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day. I know it is a crazy time. Your voice is it's held up through this. I don't know how you're getting through the afternoon, but I got you through this.
It's all good. We love doing what we're doing right now, and I get a lot of energy talking to partners and customers. So it's all good. Hopefully, our voice holds out. So.
Yep. All right, folks, we are back with another great Googler here just in about another hour or two, Amy Waldron, who leads healthcare for Google. So we're going to learn what's happening in that technology in that specific industry. So make sure you stick around here on LinkedIn. We will be back. So with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, or at least till we're back together here shortly. For us all here at Google Next, I'm Jeff DeVerter, Chief Technology Evangelist. Clive D'Souza, leading partner engineering for Google in North America. Have a great day, everybody.